I just wanted to talk about fear. For most of my life, I have let fear guide my life, and I've made a lot of decisions and did a lot of things based out of fear, and it kind of drove me insane and made me feel miserable and just led to more fear. I was afraid of what people thought about me, which was a huge one. I was afraid of making mistakes. I was afraid of rejection, afraid of many, many things in my life, and it led me to live a stagnant, unfulfilling life. And now, more so than ever, I have been able to be more aware of things that make me fearful. A lot of those things that are not grounded in reality, so it doesn't really make sense for me to dwell on these fears. They're still there. There's still fear there a lot of the time, but for the most part, I can be aware of it. And by being aware of it, I'm able to shift my mindset away from being afraid of things and anxieties and stuff like that. They're still there. They still show up, but they don't have a debilitating effect like they had in the past. One thing is exercise. If I find myself in like a really anxious mind state, I can go for a run. Specifically, running for some reason is what really kind of can pull me out of that, and it brings a real calming, centered presence, I find. And then another huge thing that I've really been implementing in my life is mindfulness practice. Just sitting and focusing on the breath and watching the thoughts that arise, and then bringing the awareness back to the breath. But I've also really tried to limit my exposure to fear mongering, and one of those things that I've found is TV, but specifically the news. And this isn't a political thing, it has no basis. Any news I find that I have seen on TV at a hotel room or at my parents' house or something, if the TV's on and there's news on, there is fear being spread. And I understand locally there are issues that can be dealt with, and the more you are aware of them, the more of an impact you can have. But I've heard it said, we humans are not designed to intake the world's problems. There's 7 billion of us out here, and if you're constantly being shown all of the issues of all these people, that's going to have an effect on you. And I think that is a big way to promote fear, and decisions made out of fear can only breed more fear. So if you're constantly watching the news and constantly being filled with all this negative energy, it can't be good for you. And I know that me specifically, when I am constantly watching the news or whatever it may be they're talking about, I feel like this negative energy inside me, and I just don't like it. So what I try to do is stay away from those kind of things, but yet it's still good to be aware of issues that you have an effect on. And I know it's good to try to improve the world any way you can. So I think there's a way that you can do both of that, where you can still try to limit the amount of fear you are witnessing, but still try to have an impact on the world. But anyway, I hope this helps, and I hope I could just kind of show you a little bit of my perspective on the matter and try to live a life that isn't so full of fear. And if you do find yourself fearing or being anxious, there are ways that you can improve that and live a happier, healthier life. Peace out.